Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NX Show live on twitch.tv/the NX Show and codenamnx.com/live. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, is that retro code, Eddie V.
Nothing like the part when you're shooting it diagonally in Contra. Hello, everybody.
Yeah. Also, the wise Wisconsinite, Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
And the streamer's champion, Ray Apollo.
Hello, it is I.
It's like the, what do you say? The substitute. Ray is out right now. Here's a placeholder. Right?
Wait, what?
What?
Wait, huh?
I'm just kidding.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I'm just kidding. Your hat's cool, though.
Thank you. I love this hat.
It's cool. It's a cool Spider-Man hat.
Support my boy Spider-Man.
I like your Mr. Potato Head down there, too.
Yeah, the missus is up in the closet, but you know, it's fine.
Is that
that
Barack
Superman?
Obama?
It's Super Spud.
Yeah, it's Super Spud.
Oh, I thought it was Barack Obama.
Wow. No, it's just Mr. Potato Head as Clark Kent. Superman.
Nice. I can't see the S. That's why I looked at
I
it.
have a Wonder Woman Mrs. Potato Head up in the closet.
Why are the women in the closet? And
Listen, I just haven't brought her down yet. This is the only reason why he's there is because he fell out of the closet. I was like, well, I guess I'll put it on my desk. So, it's here.
Oh, man. How's everyone doing? I feel like it's been like a week and a half since we recorded, but it's only been like a week.
Yes, only been a week.
I feel like this has just been one of the longest weeks ever.
That happens.
I kind of got sad yesterday. I was going to go get some sushi and found out the place only do like limited times that they're open and closed. So,
Oh, that's always heartbreaking.
yeah, dude, I had to settle for checkers, then fries, and that banana milkshake was.
You don't have any grocery stores that make sushi fresh in the morning at all?
I do, but you want to get the
Oh.
good. It was like 3:00 in the afternoon. Trying to get the good stuff is already gone like in the morning stuff. So it's just like. Plus, I would have to drive like an hour and a half out to go get some really, really good sushi.
Sushi. It's like, I don't know.
I've stopped buying
It's
sushi.
what
in the
life's
Midwest.
craves.
Yeah,
what
I don't
life
buy
craves.
sushi in the Midwest no more. I refuse to do that anymore.
Shoot. Around here, it's $5 Wednesday, so at the grocery store. So
Around
$5 Wednesdays.
down the street at like the sushi restaurant, it's half price between 4 and 6 p.m. every Monday through Thursday.
Oh,
nice.
So
that sounds great.
my wife and
I
I
wanna
go
go.
on Monday or through Thursdays sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
no, go ahead. Sorry.
I wasn't saying anything. I was just
Oh.
saying, you know.
Oh yeah. I live like right by that all you can eat sushi place. It's like
That
25
sounds great
bucks.
too.
Look,
It's 25. It's 25 bucks, and you get the menu, and then you tell them what you want. And they have these little boats in water that go around in a circle, and like they just put because they'll give you half of a roll, and then they put the other half on the boat, and then so it's just like constantly passing you, and you can just kind of pick and choose what you want.
Jesse,
It's so good, dude.
I am making car trip plans to come up there now because I want some. I know we talked about it many a times. We actually have a place called Choo Choo Charlie's, and they bring all your breakfast on the train. And
Oh yeah, there's a place like that in by Wisconsin Dells.
but we're housekeeping. I'm sorry.
I want my food delivered to me by train.
Okay.
I just like food. Just give me food.
Thomas, I think.
I had a burrito before the podcast started.
Oh,
that-
that sounds delicious.
Oh, it was awesome.
Very mobile food item.
I
It
will
was.
be
I got
doing
it. I got it on my way home from the gym.
You
I
eat
will
it
be
while
doing-
you're in the bathroom.
I'm so
even.
proud of you.
I will be doing Taco Bell.
Hey man, I don't want that workout to go wasted. I have to eat something afterwards.
That is
This
true.
is true. This is true.
I will admit, when I used to live, when I get done, I used to be at Taco Bell. Can I get 3 soft chicken tacos? And ooh, heaven.
Man, burritos are good, guys.
Taco Bell is the worst for you, but it's the best.
Technically, it's like the healthiest fast food option.
Yeah, that's
Not that
true,
that's
because
saying
they
much,
actually
but
have healthy. Not that their food that we would normally order is healthy. It's just they have healthy options.
yeah, it's there if you want it.
It's that cleansing that you need, mentally and physically.
Taco Bell, please sponsor our podcast.
That'd be lit. I'd enjoy that.
Yeah. Have the bell ding.
Yeah. This segment brought to you by Taco Bell. Ding.
Ding.
Oh man. Anyways, we're gonna get into this housekeeping real quick before we start this show. Welcome to the NX Show, your source for video game news, analysis, and other shenanigans. You can catch us live on twitch.tv/the NX Show or codenamenx.com/live every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific for pre-show, followed by the podcast. If you can't join us live, you can head over to codenamenx.com, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and your podcast service of choice to listen to a fully edited show in your ears. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the NX Show and the NX Project's Facebook page. You can also join our Facebook group. Blah, blah, blah. Man, my notes. I need to edit these notes. These are bad. If you have any questions, you can tweet at us, look for our question thread on our Facebook community, or email us at contact@codenamenx.com. We will also be taking live questions in the Twitch chat. Remember, you can find all of our content on codenamenx.com, including all of our videos, old content, reviews, blogs, live streams, etc., as soon as I take the time to get them up there. So, also, we're giving away Super Mario Maker 2. The rules are simple. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, podcast services, and or twitch.tv/the NX Show, and screenshot your subscription and send it to contact@codenamenx.com. If you rate us on a podcast or review the NX Show 5 stars on the Apple podcast app, it grants you a second entry. In fact, you can send all screenshots of all of your subscriptions, and you're granted 4 entries. That's 4 chances to win, and we will be revealing the winner next Saturday live on our podcast.
Yeah.
So subscribe. Subscribe.
Do it.
Screenshot. Email.
You can do it. I believe in you.
See, Ray believes in you. Ray believes in you. See, that's why you should subscribe to his Twitch channel too.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Ray Apollo.
That's right.
Give them those Twitch Prime subs.
Yeah, give me your Twitch Prime subs and them bits. That's right.
Them bits. So, all right, we're going to get into some of these news bits. There's some interesting news this week. I didn't think we were going to have anything to talk about because of E3 last week. Thought everybody was going to take the week off, but
Wrong.
guess what?
Wrong.
Surprise mechanics.
Surprise.
We're saving that story for later. Our first story is about Project Scarlet. It comes from Game Informer. Plans for a multi-pronged Project Scarlet release have been scrapped. For the last year, ever since Phil Spencer casually announced the successor to the Xbox One at E3 2018, there have been rumors swirling that Microsoft will be taking a different strategy with next-gen box releases. The idea was that Microsoft would go hard on graphical technology with a standard local unit like Xbox One X or most traditional consoles, then have a separate lighter box that primarily relies on xCloud to do the heavy lifting at a much cheaper price. Wow, can I read today? Now, the original reporter of that rumor is stating those plans have been scrapped in favor of just the traditional route. According to Brad Sims and Paul Thurrott's website, multiple consoles were definitely in the cards, but proved to be too big of a hassle. So, there's also more information on this page. But only one Scarlet, guys. Only one Scarlet.
Which is fine.
I'm okay with that. I think that it's they kind of worried that they would get themselves to that point where it's like, well, what's the point of buying this box if they're just going to make a more powerful box and I can just wait and get that?
Yeah.
So I hope that it's just like it is a beefy console at a decent price instead of waiting and then releasing a box that's $700 later.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
They're probably gonna make it at a loss. So I think probably about 450, 500 for this new console.
Yeah. I don't think they can go over 500.
I see 450 being like, they'd be like, hey, it's what is it, 449? Like I can see that. I can see that. It's a weird number, but I can
because
see
if they're doing the what is it, the save state or the one that like PS5 is doing,
The solid state drive.
the solid state drive,
Yeah.
that's probably gonna be some money.
No,
That's
those are
gonna
free.
that's gonna probably up the price. I think since the sales of the Xbox One S haven't been big, like I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about buying that system or getting it. They probably figured out if we're not making good sales on this, we shouldn't do it for our new box. If the traditional buying physical media or if you want it, there's Game Pass. If you want a digital, you can buy digital with your own external hard. Probably just made more sense business wise soon, and they'll still just be making a profit off of that. Definitely with accessories and stuff. So because I don't think trying to sell it digital all system where you live in the boondocks and your internet is not good, that might not be a good decision. And they probably don't want no systems, like that still on shelves.
Plus, I think like with xCloud, I wonder if they're gonna say, hey, the Xbox One is like, if you want to play Scarlet games or whatever, maybe the Xbox One will stream them to xCloud if you pay a fee or whatever, right? Because I really don't think that xCloud is going to be free.
I don't think so either. I think if it is, I'll be surprised, but they have to find a way to pay for that service.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be if it's not connected to Xbox Live,
which it won't be right away.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's going to probably be connected to Game Pass. It's going to be connected to something.
I honestly don't think so.
I don't think
I
so.
think it's going to be I think it's going to be a separate service right out the gate.
Yeah,
I really do
too.
think so.
So
Because
something
they
like-
just bundled Xbox Live and Game Pass.
Yeah.
Just did that.
Yeah.
Well,
There-
because there was no Game Pass for PC.
What if they
So-
But still,
What if
it
they-
just did it though.
like they
Yeah.
already called this Game Pass Ultimate with Xbox Live? Where do you go after Ultimate if they start bundling all this Ultra?
I kind of feel like they would
Super-
keep the name the same if they were going to eventually bundle xCloud into it.
It's gonna just
Honestly.
it's just
Well,
gonna,
yeah.
it's just gonna look like a Street Fighter 2 title from Super Nintendo at some
Pretty
point.
much.
Well,
Super
We'll make
a
Xbox
complete
Game Pass Ultimate Turbo Remix, the final
Arcade
finals.
edition.
honestly, I think what they would do is like, if anything, it would just be like your monthly Xbox Live or whatever. The price, like I could see the price of going up by like a couple of bucks a
Like
month.
$10.
Yeah,
$10.
and
Not
then-
even, maybe $5.
Yeah,
like
I-
eventually, I'm talking like down the road. Like eventually, that xCloud stuff would be part of Live. Like it would just be part of Live permanently eventually, and like $5 more a month for Xbox Live or something.
Well,
Because-
that's if you do the yearly thing, you think they'll do a yearly price for it then?
Yeah, they would do a yearly price
Mhm.
for it.
And it'll probably be cheaper to buy
it would
for
be
a
just
year.
part of Live.
It'll
you
probably be cheaper to buy a year too than
Mhm.
you know.
As it
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like it'll probably be connected to Xbox Live, to your
Yeah.
Xbox Live. Like if they
I
charge
do think
you,
eventually.
like if they charge you, and this might seem out the box, like $80, $60 for Xbox Live, and then $20 a year for Project X Cloud. I think people would still be like, okay, that's cool. And then, but if you want the Ultimate Edition, like Game Pass for PC and Xbox and Live and Gold and stuff, you'll pay like about $90 some. You'll pay more because you got the PC stuff, but you get extra months before you actually have to do a renewal or something. Like,
I think one thing they might end up doing too is like they might actually bundle in, like, just to make it more appealing at first, like when you do get the xCloud. I wonder if they're gonna like maybe like give you extra cloud saving space and stuff like that, like just things that technically won't cost them anything, or they're not really losing any money giving you, but it makes it a little bit more appealing because you're getting, similar to, like with Amazon owning certain things, like when you get the Amazon Prime, you get, the Prime Music, you get, that stuff. You getting that isn't technically really losing them any money because you're still paying, a good chunk of money per year to have the service, but it makes it look more appealing, So I wonder if they'll just they might add stuff like that to it, like to make you seem like you're getting more out of what you're paying.
Plus, theoretically, it could be cheaper because it's not just for owners of Xbox. Like, you could have people buy in, like, okay, I'm going to download the Xbox Live app on my phone. Oh, I can play Xbox games on my phone without having the Xbox. I could buy into xCloud or whatever that bundle is too. So theoretically, it could be a little bit cheaper than what maybe we even expect. It could be like.
So if they wanted to be aggressive, what I would think is that Xbox would bundle this in with just Xbox Live. You buy Xbox Live and you get access to the xCloud. And there'll be a way that you could just, for a while, I would think it would just be, I would hope to get people even remotely interested in it, you have to get people to try it. This isn't something that's like a physical product. You can be like, yeah, buy this new thing, because it's a service.
Yeah.
You have to prove that a service is worth paying for. And how do you do that nowadays? You let people try it.
Yeah.
So I feel like you'll have it come with Xbox Live Gold,
and playing off that point,
you could just buy Xbox Live Gold, and then you have the xCloud, so that way a person can just buy Xbox Live, like Corey said, like that doesn't have an Xbox at all, and now they have this xCloud thing that they can use on any of their devices.
Plus, going off what you said, Ray, if they feel like they need to like raise the price of Xbox Live 2 years down the road, then they will, right? Like they could raise it to
they'll adjust
$65
or $70
a year.
It'd be $5 more a month, or something.
But I feel like Microsoft has set this up to where they wouldn't have to raise their price much, because I think they've just literally built it into the infrastructure of Xbox Live itself.
Yeah, I agree with you too.
Are they trying to release it this year,
October.
or are we just
It's October this year.
Beta access is October.
Well, like I feel like that's a soft release to me.
Yeah.
So it's only beta in October.
Well,
but
that's what
official.
Phil Spencer said, but like, I feel like what Ray just said, it's going to be like it's more of a soft release than more of like a, it's more of like, hey, we're using our Xbox One X's and S's to test out this technology, and if you want to try it out, you can. The big thing for me though is that remote play that he was talking about, because like that's what I really like about PlayStation, even though it doesn't work great. Like, I can open my laptop while we're watching TV, and I can play some PlayStation while we're watching TV or whatever.
So it's not perfect, but it gets the job done. And I feel like I was listening to something the other day where they were like, it's like early Netflix, where you were watching these weirdly compressed videos streaming, and it's like, oh man, this is really cool. But like, now look at where Netflix is. We're streaming 4K video, which is insane still to think about.
It's the factor of convenience over quality.
Exactly.
Now. And like, if
like the 4K that we're streaming still isn't as good as me playing a 4K Blu-ray on my Xbox. It's not, but it gets the job done. Right. So I feel like this game streaming stuff, people will get over it.
If you can get it to good enough, people will play. Will use it.
That we'll have to figure out the data cap thing, but we'll get over it.
I don't have a data cap, so I don't have that problem.
Oh, look at me! I'm Corey. I don't have a data cap.
No data cap.
I think sometimes some people just don't pay attention to the technical aspect, like a 4K and stuff. Like some people might not even know the difference.
The majority of gamers don't even care about 4K, right? Like I mean. Would I like a 4K TV? Yes, but it's not in the budget, right? I decided to get a new computer instead and switch games and Xbox. So, but like, I mean, a majority of people are like, who cares about 4K? You know?
I mean, as long as we can nail 1080p 60,
I know,
perfectly. Yeah. That's all that matters.
I know. Can we nail 1080p 30 first?
Like I want you to perfectly nail 1080 60 and everything's good.
Let's just make stuff still look like a PS3 game at this time. That's my
I mean, if it looks good and it plays smooth, I don't mind it looking like a PS3 game. Just don't play like a PS3 game.
But that's another discussion.
Oh boy. But I'm excited for xCloud honestly this fall. Like I'm definitely gonna try it out.
I'm still fairly skeptical of the streaming stuff because it's just like all of a sudden it's just bam, it's here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, we'll see how it goes. But it's pretty much a tried concept for me. I have to try it to be on board with it. Just
I
like
mean,
I was
how skeptical with Netflix at first. Like I was like, no, I need that DVD, and now I'm like, what's a DVD? I don't have any media whatsoever.
But see, Netflix is a weird thing because I think when Wii came out and Netflix hit Wii, that's when Netflix became popular, and just the ease and usage of it.
I don't know if it was just Wii.
Well, but when the stats, a lot of people who was doing Netflix was doing
the
Wii.
install base of the Wii. There was when it hit Wii,
that's that sweet Netflix disc. Just the red one that said Netflix on it.
And then to do the remote play with the 3DS, I'm like, that was kind of a big thing. Like you really didn't really think about it that way. Be like,
we still don't have Netflix on the Switch, which baffles me.
And you know what? We was talking about
that sweet game coming out for it.
We was talking about that, and I'm like, I'm fine because I watch more of Hulu than I do Netflix on Switch.
I bet
it's still weird that it's not on Switch yet.
I bet Netflix launches alongside Dark Crystal game or the Stranger Things game. Like,
if it does, that's hilarious. But okay.
I mean, like. They could use that as like a promotional tool. Be like, hey, guess what? You can now download.
I assume that's what they're doing.
You can now download Netflix on your Switch. By the way, there's 3 Netflix games coming out that you can play on your Switch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense. It does.
Yeah.
You know what doesn't make sense? Like, Dark Crystal's Tactics.
Let's not talk about that. That was the one thing.
We have another story.
I was like, why did that even matter?
It's all about moving this story forward.
Yeah.
Well, I have one question though about what we were talking about. So then what technically is it that we're already doing with the Xbox where I can like play games off of my Xbox on the computer?
That's just play anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that game basically you're basically playing.
Are you talking about streaming it to
No,
your PC?
Like where you're streaming it to your computer.
It's just,
You
can do that. You can do that through Xbox and Windows already.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like, what's the difference of what that is to?
Because
like,
with this one you're connected directly to your Xbox. This other one you're connected to basically a cloud server.
That connects to your Xbox though.
It can pass. It can connect to your Xbox as for I'm assuming what will be a more stable connection. But this one, what they're promising is just you literally connecting with the device to their server.
It's basically their version of Stadia, pretty much.
Yeah. Because last week I played Portal 2 on my computer through streamed it to my computer.
And I think. I'm about to get to the next story. I think xCloud is more connected to Windows 10 in a sense, due to the fact of phones and tablets and stuff that they have like Windows 10. Because I don't think
Nokia.
Who still uses a Windows phone?
Windows.
Who's that guy?
I'm just saying.
I bet he uses a Zune too.
Oh no!
Hey, Zoom used to be. I preferred Zoom over iTouch.
I had a Zune. I liked my Zune.
Yeah. I had a Zune too.
Zune is better than iPod just because you could actually put an MP3 format onto it, and you didn't have to convert it to the dumb.
I had the Halo 3 one.
Did you?
Yeah, I still have it. It's still in the box.
All right, money bags.
Corey, what's our next story?
What, are you tired of talking about xCloud, Ed? Maybe I want to talk about xCloud some more. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I see. The next story is a Nintendo story. That's why Ed wants to.
Of course.
I'm just kidding. Our next story comes from Nintendo Life. Is this our first real look at Nintendo Switch Mini? Update. The company responds. So, for those who don't know, this company called Hanson has based designs off secret information on their quote-unquote Switch Mini, the mini Switch that is supposedly coming out at some point. So I'm going to read the original story here, and then I'm going to read the update. Despite the countless rumors that have been circulating around the lower-priced Switch Mini console over the past couple of years, Nintendo still hasn't officially revealed that such a thing exists. For all we know, this could be because it doesn't exist, but these accessories designed specifically for such console could be a key ingredient to the Switch Mini speculation mix. Believe it or not, we've been talking about the idea of a Switch Mini since April of 2017, just weeks after the real deal released into the world. And then there's a bunch of pictures of cases and accessories and stuff like that, tempered glass screen protectors, stuff like that. So basically, this company has listed these, and also I saw online today that Game, the UK retailer, has also listed Switch Mini accessories and then pulled them down off of their website. But the update to the story says, we've spoken to Hansan representative about the product listings in question, and they have been told that the company has based these products off of, quote, secret information.
Secret information.
And that it is waiting for Nintendo to officially confirm the system before putting these items into production. Hansan will then, quote, adjust the model to ensure that it perfectly suits the console. The representative also confirmed that based on the information it has received, the Switch Mini is, as the name suggests, a little smaller than the current version.
What?
I do want to say that the design of the Switch Mini in the picture in the article is a sexy device.
It ain't gonna look like that. You know that.
Of course it's not, but it looks nice. That is a sexy device.
You go look at that and be like, oh, that's a tiny Switch.
Right.
Oh man,
The Game Boy Advance.
Dude, a Switch Micro, like the Game Boy Micro, just a Switch that's as big as the cartridge.
Oh no!
Wow.
I don't know. Like, I do like that design. Like, it would be cool if Nintendo was like, hey, yeah, we got you a nice little beautiful device. I mean, the Switch is not bad, but we all know that the Switch is still a Nintendo product. So I mean, like that, yes, it would be nice to see. It'd be nice to have, but yeah, it's just gonna be like, oh yeah, it's a Switch minus the Joy-Cons. Here you go.
Here you go. Hey, you know how you can take the controllers off? You can't do that anymore.
You don't.
Is it like as big as a PSP or something?
I would assume it would be just a little bit bigger than a PSP, for real, Jesse. Honestly, yeah, a little bit bigger than that, and I feel like you got a sweet spot.
Yeah,
especially with Pokemon coming out.
Yeah,
Get it done, Nintendo.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion on this.
Ed doesn't have an opinion on Nintendo
don't have
products.
An opinion. Because it's just like, okay, if Nintendo does the Switch Mini, are you going to fix the Joy-Con problem where sometimes the Joy-Con moves on this phone?
Yeah, you do. You get rid of them.
Yeah, it's just they're just going to be attached. It's just going to look like this very sexy image that I'm staring at right now.
I mean, hopefully they fix that hardware or that little glitch in them. I don't know.
I want an upgraded Switch. At this point, I want that. I want that more than a new PlayStation or a new Xbox, to be completely honest.
Definitely with the hackers on how they did the microchip, I think a new custom-made chip they'll probably have to make will be more powerful. I think a lot of people would buy it. Like, I'll still keep my old.
I think that next-gen Tegra chip is relatively, cheap at this point. That Nintendo would actually like whatever the next version of the Switch is, because like I don't see them like taking away the Switch that we currently have. What I think is like they're gonna make an upgraded Switch, and then the guts of the current Switches will be in the Switch Mini. It'll be kind of like an Xbox One XS situation.
Yeah, I can see that.
So pretty much like an XL kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
In a sense.
No, a new Nintendo Switch.
Oh no! Please don't do that. Nintendo.
Please don't do that.
No.
No.
I don't think.
I worked at GameStop during that time, and it sucked. Don't do that ever again.
I don't think Nintendo is in the mind frame of doing a new console. I think 2023 they'll start doing the research and development.
I don't know. I feel like they've already started on that. Yeah. I feel like that's already started.
I don't think they can go back to just a box though. I think the Switch is like I feel like they're stuck now. Like whatever, like they're gonna make
Switch
like
you.
Super Switch or something.
The Super Switch. Yeah, Corey, I agree with you. I don't feel like Nintendo can. They can't go back from here.
No.
Well,
the more mobile and the better you can make the mobile experience, but also give you a TV experience at your house is the way to go from here on out.
Well, and Nintendo is just like innovative, so they'll still think about that. But I think doing some research and development right now on it, I don't think it's going to start into the next couple of years. So where we'll get
I'm telling you, they've already started that
R&D.
already.
Started before the Switch released.
I mean, because the research and development, we might not know about it till then, but it has already started.
Because it wouldn't make sense for them to start it then. That would put them behind. They've probably started it right after the Switch came out. How can we improve this? How can we get from the next step to?
Well, if they're doing the Switch Mini or Switch XL and stuff, that means they haven't. To me personally, it feels like they haven't started. They're kind of delaying it because their marketing and games would be focused on being on those systems, but them getting into the nitty gritty, like designing their concepts, ideas, manufacturers that they could get to find out cheaper equipment and stuff, they probably would do that in 2023.
And the way that I understand how this kind of stuff works is that, yes, while that you would think that they're not going to start that, they've already started it. They have groups,
especially
have
the runtime on chips.
They have
and stuff.
teams who work on multiple things at multiple times. This is something they've already started working on, and they have a team working on it. And they have a team working on the Switch Mini thing. And then once the Switch Mini thing is done, they're going to start working on the next iteration of the Switch Mini thing. While this other group, they siphon people off of that team, and they put it all on this next big Switch.
Yeah.
You know what?
They're already working on it.
It
doesn't stop. It's always going.
You know what the Switch is? You know what the Switch is going to be? It's going to be the Game Boy, right? Where like as soon as you find a way, like you think the Game Boy is kind of dying, and then they're going to make the Game Boy Pocket and revitalize it, and then they're going to put out Pokemon, which is going to revitalize it, and then they're going to put out the Game Boy Color, which is going to revitalize it. Like they're going to keep doing that. I think the Switch is going to come out like an iPad, pretty much. Where like maybe not clearly not as often, but like every 3 to 4 years.
I can see every 4 years.
Yeah, 3 to 4 years, they're going to say, "Hey, you can still play your old Switch games on here, but this is more powerful, and there's going to be certain games that can't run on the old stuff." And I don't know how you market that. I don't know how you go about messaging that, because
the Nintendo way.
I mean, they clearly sent out the best message when they put the Wii U out. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just going to keep upgrading it, because I don't know if you can go back, and I think they have such a killer concept, and this is what people want out of Nintendo, that they...
I don't think they're going to go back. I think Nintendo right now is in the process of like, okay, 4K is not about to become the standard, so now we need to figure out how can we produce 4K. Like everybody.
See, I don't think Nintendo cares about 4K. I think their screen their screen on the Switch isn't even 1080p. Like it's 720.
It's 720. It's capped at 720, isn't it?
Well,
yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, if they're going to continue in a Switch style, hooking your TV up, since 4K is kind of going to be the standard, I'm just saying that they may be thinking about it. Not saying that they're designing it.
I can see that they thought about it, yeah. I think 1080p, that's the goal for them.
See, I think they could even like say, hey, we might try for 1440p and upscale at some point too.
Like I said, nail 1080p and you've got my money.
I know. I know. I mean, that's everything though. Please just
Jesse.
I think if anything that their main goal would be to just make a Switch that can get 1080p and like maybe hopefully 60 frames per second.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
And then like what they would do is they would try to, but they would, like see if hopefully they could get the Switch in handheld mode to do 1080p as well, and maybe it might not be I guess they could probably do it where it would have to be 60 on there as well, because nothing in the base I don't think would really change that if it can do it.
My last question to you guys would be: is that stuff for more third party instead of indie and Nintendo themselves?
Exactly.
Due to the fact that Nintendo is creative with different art styles, and indies are creative with different art styles.
I would say yes and no. I would like to think that Nintendo is trying to push themselves further to also increase the quality of their things as well. Mm-hmm. So yes, while we'll get these stylized games, they want these games to do more now. And I feel like you need stronger hardware to get more out of those games now. I think the Breath of the Wild was ambitious as hell. That game, it did a lot.
That game choked on the Switch.
It really does push the limits of the Switch already. And that was a launch game.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you gotta add some better hardware to accommodate games that these creators that want to do more. Plus, especially in your first party.
Plus, I think the third party support is way greater than Nintendo expected. Like, we're getting The Witcher, Doom, Wolfenstein.
I can't wait to see how bad The Witcher runs on Switch. I can't wait.
That's gonna be a test. But I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think Nintendo's even themselves are a little surprised that third party support is very strong for the system, and they're probably taking that into consideration too, of like, okay, what do we need to help these third party developers get games on our system, especially since the next Xbox and PlayStation are coming next year? How do we, even though we aren't directly competing with them, how do we keep pace with them? And how are we able to get these games on our system too, if people think that they deserve to be there?
Mm-hmm. And how do we make it easier for them to port them so that they're faster? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and I think the thing is like, the world knows that when it comes to handheld games or making a handheld console, that Nintendo has been basically the winner of that type of console since it even existed almost. So like, the second that they made the Switch a handheld console, I think people were like, okay, well, we know that when it comes to handheld, no one does it like Nintendo does.
I don't know. Those Tiger Electronics handhelds were pretty awesome.
Like I said, I think Switch is, and I know we got to get to the next story. Switch, to me personally, is a home console with portability as its function. That's what I see it as. That's what Nintendo claim it as. And
I agree with that.
Because I'm like, can you really call like PlayStation, like Vita, a console, a handheld console? Because they had PS TV, and you play that on your TV and stuff.
Yeah, so, there are games. There were games specifically that you could not play on that though. Like, you could not play Uncharted on there, which was disappointing because I hear that one's pretty good.
It is pretty good. I still have a copy of it, but I don't have a Vita.
You got to hold it up to a light, show the map.
Yep. I mean, the Vita was a gimmick-filled device that we loved, but it was basically just a gimmick that they were like, hey, let's do this weird thing. And then they did it, and they're like, hey, that didn't work. Let's never do that again.
Vita got Borderlands 2, though.
God, and it was bad.
I bought that bundle.
I did, too, and it was bad.
It was so bad. But it was one of those bads that was like really fascinating. You're like, how did they get this on here?
But Borderlands 2 would work really well on the Switch. And guess what? Not on the Switch.
I know.
Mm-hmm. I bought PSP day one, and I never made that mistake again.
Hey, you know what? God of War was awesome on PSP.
Actually.
And
some of the best games.
And Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions was awesome.
Also good, you're right.
And then they brought them to PS3.
And then X-Men Legends game, also good on PSP.
Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, a Kingdom Hearts game on PSP.
Was Persona 4 Golden on the PSP?
No,
or that Vita?
That was Vita.
No,
Vita.
But I think
one of the best handheld games ever. Yes.
I think PSP got 3 though, right?
It did. It had Fez.
Yeah. And you was able to watch movies on the PSP.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
With those really weird UMDs.
Universal Media Discs, the future.
I hated those. They broke so easily. It was like, this is a ripoff.
What was that weird plastic case they came in? It was like...
stupid.
I think too many people watched some early 2000s hacker movies and they're like, we need mini discs.
Yeah, mini discs. That was the stupidest thing they could have ever done.
Speaking of mini discs...
Mini discs only worked on the GameCube.
This is true.
Man, speaking of mini discs, EA says they are committed to Anthem.
Oh my god.
Electronic Arts CEO states they are committed to Anthem. The rocky launch of Anthem feels like it has not fully rallied yet, after the roadmap has been delayed and come out to less than stellar responses. This was punctuated by the game's outright absence at E3, as Electronic Arts seemingly has no update on the dwindling fan base hungry to find out more about the game's now adjusted path. One might think that means EA is running away from BioWare-developed game, but CEO Andrew Wilson is insisting that that's not the case. He did an interview with Games Daily and said, IP lives for generations, and it runs in these 7 to 10 year cycles. I can't even read this. So if I think about Anthem on a 7 to 10 year cycle, it may not have had the start that many of us wanted, including our players. I feel like the team is really going to get there with something special and something great because they've demonstrated that they can. He goes on later to say, what the BioWare teams are thinking about is that we're going to build a lot of different types of games. We're going to have our core BioWare audience that has been with us for a really long time. There are kids today who are 12 years old who weren't around when BioWare started making games, and they have different expectations of what a BioWare game should be in the context of the world that they've grown up in.
Once again, what
it's gonna be like No Man's Sky, where people are gonna forget about it for like 10 years.
That's what they hope.
So is BioWare sticking with Anthem, or are they making multiple different games?
It sounds like the concept of Anthem they still think has promise.
Yeah.
The concept, the core of Anthem still has promise. That's all. That's it.
The flying was awesome.
So the flying was the best part of the game.
Yeah.
And I feel like
which apparently wasn't even in the game until like the last year of development.
If they decide to stick with this game, which I feel like, I don't know, there's a chance that they could save this game. I don't know what it'll have to be though, because I didn't feel like the story was all that compelling. The mechanics were awesome. I like the mechanics more than I like the game itself. So I feel like if they reworked this game and made it more, they have to choose. Do you want it to be a looter shooter, or do you want it to be this story-driven action game? They have to pick.
I think more and more.
Well,
of
I
these
think
games
if they do it,
say it again.
They do it like Destiny. I mean, Destiny really doesn't have much of a story going on that's anything to care about.
But it's a great story. Like, no, the current story is fantastic.
Well,
it's so good, and it's delivered in a way that the people that care can find it.
Yeah,
I know where it is, and I follow it, and it's good. Anthem story did not do that. It didn't do that.
See, and I was the opposite. I actually cared about the Anthem story, the little bit of Anthem story that I got. I actually enjoyed, and I just didn't care about the Destiny.
I think Destiny. I think that what Destiny does well is they have compelling lore. They have really cool stories outside of the game that you can go find, like if you want to. But there's enough story in the game that keeps you engaged, and I feel like for most people, and you know, Jesse, I know you like Anthem story, but for most people, I feel like the story didn't. I feel like people were expecting Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Baldur's Gate style stories, Knights of the Republic even. And they got Anthem, and that's what people expect out of BioWare is a compelling story, and they went another direction, which I think hurt the game also, where like you're expecting one thing and you get another type thing.
Well, they didn't set expectations at all,
which is weird to me because Destiny and Anthem to me kind of both fall in the same boat, where I feel like even though the flying is good, these different worlds and different parts of the land are great, I always feel like this should have been just a single player campaign that went level by level. That was just a traditional FPS.
So more Halo style.
Yeah,
in a way, yes. Yes.
Or they could focus more on the story. Versus.
Mm-hmm. So definitely more Halo style. I would appreciate it.
Or
Because
they could have even done like more Mass Effect style, where like you create your own character, you go through the campaign first by yourself, or like, you know, if you have a friend or whatever, like similar to what Halo did, where like, okay, you're just a second Master Chief that runs through the world and whatever. And then after the campaign's over is when the world opens up. You go into these strongholds and stuff. And you know, I didn't really play enough of Anthem to really like see if it did that or not, but like that's what I feel. That's where I feel like they kind of went wrong. Where like when I was playing Mass Effect, especially Mass Effect 2, because I played that game all the way through like 4 or 5 times. Like I would have liked to have seen like, okay, can I like go back and like do like, because I would do like the side quests on my way to the end, so like I didn't really have anything to do after the game was over. But like, what if there's some stuff that opened up and like I could go do stuff after the game and be like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, well, kind of similar to like, you know, like because I feel like you can have a game like Halo and all that stuff, like where it does everything, and then like what they can do is all the raids and stuff would be their online multiplayer stuff versus having to do the PvP, like, because that's the thing is like a lot of games you have your story mode and then you have your versus mode in shooters, you know, story mode, versus mode. They could do the story mode and then have the, you know, all the stuff that people care about playing multiplayer are the raids and stuff like that. Like I feel like for the most part the main game, like, yeah, people do like to play a multiplayer, you know, co-op, but it's not as important. That's usually people are just doing that because they have to level up their character to be able to play the thing that they really want to play, the raids and stuff. So like, you know,
to me a lot of that sometimes Destiny and Anthem feels tedious because you gotta keep jumping around to get to a mission. I'm not talking about the level up and stuff. It's just like you gotta beat this planet, do 3 missions, go back to the tower, or go to, because that's kind of how Curse of Osiris was, going back and forth from the tower to the planet, back to the tower. And it's just like, it would have been easier if you just made a simple a story that everything was connected. You finish the campaign, and then if you want additional story, additional things about the race, backgrounds and stuff, then treat it as a regular looter shooter if you want to look at that. And just like you said, Jesse, you know, be able to do your raids and your strikes and have your multiplayer stuff after the fact. To do that, because I think that was the one thing that definitely hurt the first Destiny. I couldn't understand none of the story because it jumped around so much. Everything was so discombobulated that I'm just like, I don't understand what the story is. I don't know what is really going on. I don't know these races. All I am just I got a guy with a gun, and I'm shooting stuff. Like nothing is really explained, and I can't have no deeper understanding or connection to what the story is. Destiny 2 fixed that a bit because it's a better story, but it still just feels like if you would have just gave this 15 levels, had done with the 15 levels, now open everything up, and you can now be able to go get the stuff that you need to. And I think them connecting it to our MMO/RPG mechanic, I think that's what really kind of hurt Destiny and Anthem in a sense, instead of just making a very cohesive 15 mission story.
Yeah.
So.
Well, honestly, I as much as like I enjoyed playing what I played of Anthem, I did not really enjoy the loop of the game. But like, I really hope this has like a No Man's Sky style comeback.
That'd be nice.
You know, like
I mean, I'm not saying I don't. I want it to be successful. I do.
Yeah, I do.
I want it to be a good game.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think you know, that's the thing, is unfortunately it's had a really bad start, and I'm just hoping that they learn from it. And you know, like, it just, at this point, to me, it is what it is. I haven't played it in a long time, and I don't really see playing it, but like, it has enough things to it, story wise and everything, and just like mechanics wise, that I will play it once they start adding and doing all the things that they were telling us that they were going to do. Like, I'm, at this point, and it's not like I'm missing it anyways, because I've just got so much other stuff to play right now. So I think that's part of the thing and why I don't really care and I'm not as critical about it is because I've got so many other things to worry, play and do right now that it's just whatever. Take the time they need to take to fix it and make it, what they envisioned it to be. Because I do want to continue supporting them, and I do think that part of it is it's just like it's new territory that maybe they just didn't plan properly for when they were thinking of doing this game. I don't know what it is, but just like No Man's Sky did, they took the time. Everyone forgot about that game for a long time, and then all of a sudden it came back, and now people are playing it again. So, I think it probably is better for them for people to just forget about it. They'd rather people just forget about it right now, because then when it comes back, if there's a whole bunch of stuff to do, I feel like people are going to be more interested in it if it's not at the top of their mind the whole time. I don't know. It's almost like a re-release.
It's the Destiny effect also. Just like people, they got what they want, they went away, and this new content is going to bring people back.
And some people won't come back, I guarantee. But a lot of people came back to Destiny, the first one.
Yeah, you know how many people
they added a whole bunch of stuff, and it ended up being an amazing game to a lot of people. So.
Yeah, you know how many people skipped Destiny when the Taken King came out, like that first, whatever I was after, the Dark Below and House of Wolves when Taken King came out. So we'll see.
Yeah, I only played like maybe a couple of hours of the vanilla Destiny, and I had never touched it again after that. Yeah. I've never played the first one like all the way through. So
yeah,
I was done with it. But
all right, we're gonna move on to our next story. I hope Anthem comes back at some point with some positive news. But staying on the EA negativity train, we're gonna talk about these surprise mechanics they seemingly taken to court here. So, as more and more governments are taking a closer look at loot boxes, whether they are a predatory practice akin to gambling, EA has found itself on the defensive. Its newest tactic: call them something else and declare that gamers love them. Actually, jeez. While testifying in front of the United Kingdom's Digital, Cultural, Media, and Sport Committee on immersive and addictive technologies, EA's Vice President of Legal, Kerry Hopkins, offered up a novel defense of microtransaction-driven loot boxes and card packs that many of its games contain. Quote, "Well, first, we don't call them loot boxes. We look at them as surprise mechanics," Hopkins asserted. Quote, "If you go to a store that sells a lot of toys and you do a search for surprise toys, what you'll find is that this is something people enjoy. They enjoy surprises."
It's worse. It keeps getting worse. You keep reading it, it keeps getting worse.
I know. Here we go. No, it gets worse before you say anything, Ed. Here we go. Okay. Hopkins goes on to compare its, quote, surprise mechanics to toys like Hatchimals and LOL Surprise, before stating that EA does believe their approach, quote, is actually quite ethical and quite fun and enjoyable to people. EA's VP of Legal also compares them to Kinder Eggs, saying they are not gambling and quite ethical. While children may indeed enjoy Hatchimals, gamers savaged Battlefront 2 for its implementation of loot boxes, and EA's original defense of them became the most downvoted comment in Reddit history.
Okay, so let me respond to this the toy bit, because I used to work in the toy industry. I can understand where she's coming from with the surprise mechanics, because we do have kids who come in and they just love getting some of those toys because it's a popular thing among others, and they would be able to trade with their friends. And LOL dolls is still popular. The Hatchimals were still popular. I can tell y'all crazy stories about those, but that part I could understand where she's coming from. The thing about this is that the surprise mechanic thing doesn't work for EA at all, because you're selling the gamers something that should have been already included in the game. You're just charging them for whatever this random thing that you're going to give to them, and the gamers have an expectancy that they're going to get something out of it. First of all, everybody, I would say this: if you have a kid who has a PlayStation or an Xbox or even a Nintendo, don't leave your credit card in there in the first place.
That's a good, wise lesson.
Also, learn how to use your parental controls.
Like,
exactly.
Parental controls are on everything, and I hate when people are like, oh, well, I don't look, read it. It's simple. Like, literally, take the time and figure it out. It does not take that long.
Guess what? Nintendo has how to use it on their system and on YouTube and on their Facebook page and on their Twitter account. They show you Bowser and Bowser Jr. on how to get it done.
There are videos all over YouTube of other parents showing you how to do this.
Yes. Yeah. So, if you are a parent and you don't have your credit card in it, if your kid is sending you to stores to go buy them $25 gift cards and stuff, and they're doing this on a random basis, you might want to have a talk with your kid, because they're spending your money to get something that's not going to even change the difference of the game. It's not going to give. Yeah. It's useless. What happened? Like I always said, you could spend all this money on this game, get all this stuff, and then trade it in and have to redo everything because it don't carry over to the next game.
Yeah, I mean, so one key piece of what you said, Ed, about the toys is they could take those toys and trade them with their friends for the things that they did get.
Yeah, meaning that's what my solution to this is. Like, honestly, I have no problem with the things that they're doing in the games. It's a matter of how they're doing it. Like, if
how they're presenting it now.
Yeah. If you want to do the card packs for your games, then go to Flare or whatever, or go to whatever card company, actually get cards made and make it so that people can buy them physically. So then they actually have something physical that they're actually buying, something that's actually worth something, versus just doing it just to take money in a game. Like, because then that way you can collect them. Then they'll probably actually make more money, because they'll have people who don't even play the game buying cards of their favorite soccer player, their favorite football player, their favorite baseball player, like whatever it, like, because there's, like, people collect cards of, like, Pokemon that probably have never even played the game.
Yeah.
Like, people don't care about the game. They like the characters. People like sports players. So if they did an actual physical, version of what they're trying to do in the game, take that out of the game, have everything that you can normally get in the game, all the normal players that are of that year, whatever, and then you could sell cards of, like, famous soccer players that maybe have retired and things like that you can unlock in the game, but you buy the actual physical cards. But that would also make them, there's something they're worth something, or people can, like you said, trade them with their friends if they don't, like, there's a way to do it. And yeah, maybe it's going to cost them a little money to make money, but they should be used to that already. I mean, that's part of a business, is you've got to spend money to make money sometimes. So I think that's the thing. Now, something like Star Wars, where you've got someone that's a whole different thing, because there's some kind of like, whatever, certain people have the rights to make toys for that for Star Wars or whatever, and they might not have the ability to do something like that. But I'm sure they could maybe look at working with one of the companies and have it where, like, when Star Wars, when you buy a Star Wars character, there's a card, you know, in the pack with it that you can use in the game or something like that. I mean, I'm sure there's ways that they can work around not actually having to be the ones who need to buy the rights to something in order to make something that comes with, you know, with it, with a character or something like that. But like, yeah, I think if they were to do more of a physical thing, I don't think people would be as upset about it, because it just feels so like useless and predatory when it's done the way that they're doing it, versus actually, you know, giving, you know, doing something that actually has some kind of worth to it.
What were you gonna say, Ray?
I just think everything like that has these loot box mechanics should go the Fortnite route. Let people earn them via a battle pass type system, or let them buy them individually when they want them. Simple as that. Loot boxes have no place. They're out of time. There's no, like, we don't need them. Like, it's been proven that you can make far more money doing it the Fortnite way, and everybody can implement it their own way, and it works well. Loot boxes don't matter. They don't need to exist anymore. We're past that now. It was a weird thing to make some quick money before, but they're useless now. We've been proven that they're broken, and they are unethical. They just need to get rid of them.
I think everybody
get them out of here.
I think everybody was like, "Oh man," when Overwatch started, like, really pushing them, you know, like everybody was like, "Oh man, we need to do that too," and that's when it just kind of became like overbearing and unnecessary. And I, to be honest with you, I still hate the way that Overwatch does. I still think that it's stupid and unfair. I do too.
Was it Shadow Mordor?
They had to change their entire game because they built half the game around the premise of you buying these loot boxes to get better orc leaders, which was so stupid. That's why that game completely failed.
Because you could have finished the single player game without buying something.
You could have, but it took twice as long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please, Gears 5 too. Get rid of all that stuff.
Well, Gears 5 won't have them. I don't think. I think.
So I hope not. Fortnite did do something right. I feel like the battle pass / just letting people buy the stuff that they want in your game is the best way to go, especially when it comes to cosmetics. And don't lock playable content behind a loot box. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And I think that was the problem with Battlefront 2.
That was the problem with Battlefront 2. That was the problem with Shadow of the Mordor. Like, don't do that.
Pay to win, pretty much.
That. Yeah, pay to win. Like,
I agree with you. Like, the way that Fortnite is doing it, I think, is why that game continues to be popular, right? Like, it's free to play. They have cool skins. You can either purchase in the store when they're available or earn it through Battle Pass, like that type of thing. I think Fortnite has just done it.
They've done it right, and I feel like whatever they do next after Fortnite, I feel like they will capitalize on that just as well.
Yep.
And the preface for actually why the story is occurring is because that they are doing research. You know, they were EA wasn't being sued or anything. They were just literally doing research and explaining to their side, because like you said, Corey, in the story, they're looking into it because of some parts of the country. I think Norway or the Netherlands or something, that they considered it as gambling.
I think
and
they're being outlawed because they're considering it gambling.
It's gambling. Yep. And like China, they want you to show
the odds of what it is, what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I don't feel like it's gambling or anything. It's
basically you're not winning money.
It's basically trading cards is what it is, right? It's just the trading card system. So and you know, one of my favorite games, Destiny, does the same thing, right? It's just the stupid engrams. Like, it's gotten better, but it's still terrible. So.
But those are part of the game. You don't pay. I don't pay extra money for engrams because I don't have to. I can play the game and I can get them.
Yeah, So, but
And loot box don't matter if your game is not working correct, aka Madden 19.
And so I feel like this whole explanation of surprise mechanics this was stupid, and it made them look worse in the public eye, because it's like, come on now. They basically said, all right, quick, what's another industry that's doing exactly what we're doing that we can defend ourselves with? Yes, surprise toys. Cool.
Well,
let's try and explain that and defend that this works the same way, because it doesn't.
The funny thing was, if they just called it surprise mechanics, it's not that they looked bad. It just made everybody laugh at them. They was just like, wait,
well, it makes them look bad.
What mechanic is a surprise? Like, did I find like a triple jump by pressing like the B button or something? Like, wait, what happened? Like, that's a surprise mechanic. Like, if you find something that in the game you didn't know, this is not a surprise mechanic.
No. All right, we're going to move on to this last story here. Some positive news, well, not really news, but positive dream that I now really want badly. This comes from Nintendo Life. Cuphead developer dreams of making a new Zelda game. Cadence of Hyrule: Crypt of the Necrodancer has become an instant success on the eShop. It's already dominating the download charts in multiple regions and has been received well by fans and critics alike. Being an indie-made title, it's obviously got a lot of smaller-sized developers thinking about what they could potentially do with Nintendo IP if they were given the opportunity. In an interview with the upcoming issue of Nintendo Force, Cuphead developer studio MDHR revealed that its dreams to one day make a new Zelda game. Jared Moldenhauer, the brother and co-founder of the studio, was more than happy to go into detail about what the team had in mind. Quote, a sprawling Zelda title brought to life in doting 2D hand animated style. Think of all the expressiveness and life you could bring to the tribes, people, and enemies of a universe that rich. Much like Cuphead, we would get to test our design metal, coming up with screen-filled bosses of entirely different nature. Of course, backgrounds would be completely hand-painted with nothing reused. The list just goes on and on. It would be an absolute dream come true. So would you guys like to see a Zelda game from Studio MDHR?
No.
That would be awesome. I think it would be cool.
I do too. I think it would be too.
I don't think so.
Ed's being muted. Ray, what do you think?
While I like the idea of them working with the Nintendo IP, I prefer them to not do Zelda. I feel like they could be like much better used with a different IP. Them with Donkey Kong, for instance, might be like incredibly amazing. Like that could be lit. I would love to see them do something with Donkey Kong. Even heck, give them
Kirby.
Give them Star Fox. Kirby would be cool too.
You know what, Kirby? Yes.
I kind of feel like Zelda
Kirby.
though. Zelda, I'm not sure, because it's like everything, and I don't want to say this because there's always room for improvement and creativity and change, but Zelda, they've got Zelda on lock. They're doing all the right stuff with Zelda. You know what I'm saying?
This is what I could see. If they want to do Zelda, they could remake Zelda 2 and do it in the style of Muramasa the Demon Blade, because they are top notch. They're great at animation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not knocking them for that. But if Ray4 is not going to get to be able to do Zelda, the company who's doing Tunic, even though that game is not out, if they could give off some good Zelda vibes with their first game, I think they might be more promising to do a top down Zelda. I think because MDHS has too many delays with Cuphead, I don't think that I would trust them, because I think they would have too many delays with Zelda, like Nintendo already had.
I mean, I wouldn't. I would trust them, because I think we've learned that just stop putting out a release date if the game's not ready, and just say the game's ready when it's ready. But yeah. I would love to see them based off just Cuphead, Star Fox game. Yes, please, 100% do that. It would be beautiful.
That depends on how. I don't know. Are they going to make Star Fox as a 2D shooter
like
that plays like R-Type or something? Yeah, I'm for that.
That sounds exactly like what they would make.
Exactly.
Right.
That's why I said Star Fox would be a much better fit.
Yeah.
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 I can agree with you with the Donkey Kong because of the difficulty. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze in those games.
I would love to see
Are
them do a
difficult.
Donkey Kong game as well. Like seriously, I feel like Donkey Kong would be such a fun thing for them to do.
And
It'd be so good.
And because they are so good at animation and the look of it, Kirby will also work. And I agree with that because Kirby looks good in animation.
Or what
Regardless
if they redid Mario 2? The obscure
What if they
Mario.
redid Mario
That would be pretty
RPG?
Yeah, that too.
No.
That'd be lit. That would look so
No.
cool. That would look
No.
amazing. So Ed, say why? Tell me more.
Mario RPG, I don't think they would be able to do that. We don't know how they're going about.
In what way though? I want to know why.
Role play.
Because it's a very simple RPG, but their style on that would be wonderful.
I think because Square Enix has gotten better with it, and I think Square Enix can definitely improve with it. If not Square Enix, I may give Mario RPG, and I'm going to get yelled at this. I might actually give it to Monolith Soft.
That's nowhere near
Again.
their style, but okay.
But Monolith Soft has more experience with
Obsidian,
RPGs.
if anything.
I mean, but they're open world action RPGs. Mario RPG
I've
is
seen
more
it
of
would
a
have to have something
classic
else,
style
Jess.
RPG.
I mean, they literally opened 2 studios to make classic RPGs. Square did.
So I mean, Square did, yes, but
Right.
No,
I
I'm,
don't know.
I'm,
With something like this, I feel like more style would make it more attractive. And
So are we
the
talking
Cuphead studio
about-
has a lot of style. So
So
I
are
feel
we
like-
talking about style versus gameplay? Because
I mean, but
that's the thing.
when we're talking about an
Why can't-
RPG, though,
why
it's
can't you
not
have
a
one
lot
with-
of gameplay.
why can't you have one without the why did they need to be separate?
I think they have to be separate is because that sometimes style is always impressive to us, to the eye, and then when you actually see what their gameplay is, like you say, Ray, it could be booty cakes.
That's only used in certain situations. This is not a booty
Right.
cake situation.
Right, but there has been some people. Look at Anthem. Take for instance, we love how the style of that game looked, and then we played it, and it didn't match up to the style what that is. So what I'm saying is that if you're a company who's known good for style and gameplay, you will be able to work better into it. I'm not saying that they can't do a Zelda game. The style will look good, but their gameplay, they're gonna need a more experience into making an RPG and what it takes. Because I don't think that MDHS, because they only did one game, I would like to see a next game that they could showcase their idea of it would be fitting into the Zelda universe and the
mean,
Zelda.
Let's be real though.
For their second game, their style would be there, but I don't think their gameplay would be there because they're not experienced.
Let's be real though. The Crypto the Necrodancer game, nobody expected that to be a Zelda game. And it's in their style and it's great. So I feel like a Cuphead style Nintendo IP game,
you would have
because the Cuphead game itself is still incredible, let me say, would be awesome.
This sounds like a situation where you would have to adapt like they would choose a style that they would want to make the game, and then they would adapt a gameplay style to their artistic style. And that's why, like, as soon as Ray said Star Fox, I imagined like the airplane levels in Cuphead, and was like, okay, how would you apply an R-Wing to this? How would Fox and the team look animated? And like, okay, I instantly see a 2D R-type style Star Fox game.
Right, and we know that can happen because they have that experience.
But
due to
I think
so. So Ed, it sounds like your hang up is trust. You haven't seen enough from the studio to trust them with the IP.
But to be fair,
in
to
a
go back
sense-
to go back to your Zelda 2 idea real quick, Ed, just to go back, like they have that overworld through Cuphead, which I think looks beautiful, and then they can do 2D style action, right?
And that's why I said if they were going to do a Zelda game, they could do Zelda 2 and do it almost like Demon Blade Muramasa, because Muramasa is a very stylized game, but the gameplay is also fun. very action-packed kind of thing, and I think they can do that.
I think they would change up if they were to remake Zelda 2. They would change the gameplay a lot. Like, I mean, nothing against Zelda 2, right? But it's very like it's a 30-something-year-old game at this point, right? Like that gameplay needs to probably be updated a little bit, right? And like that's why I'm excited for Link's Awakening, and Nintendo, Grezzo's working on that, not Nintendo, right? Like, so I mean, you could see something like that really being applied in this situation as well. And if they're going to trust someone like Crypto the Necrodancer to do a Zelda game, like, I don't know why they wouldn't trust someone like Studio MDHR to just even like trust them with like a remake, even, like, right. It doesn't need to be, or it doesn't even need to be I think we're thinking too closed-minded too. What if it's just a game that takes place in the Zelda universe? What if you're like,
a shopkeeper? Yes.
What if you're like,
we have Moonlighter for that?
But you know what I mean? Like, what if you're like another character in the Zelda universe that you could, do something cool with? Or
I could play as Ganon.
Oh god.
That I could see. I literally could see. It's just that I think if Nintendo decided to go with them, of course Nintendo is going to have hands on with this project, because I think Nintendo probably had hands on with Candace of Hyrule.
I'm sure they did.
Trust me, I don't think Nintendo was just like, okay, we're going to give this to an indie. You incorporate what you did for your indie game and then just make a Zelda game, and we're going to continue. No, Nintendo's going to have some hands-on. We're going to come and check up on this game. We're going to give some ideas. This needs to be changed. This doesn't feel right. There's something. They're going to do something like that. And I think if MDHS is up to that, because Microsoft didn't really do anything like that, if they're going to do the Zelda game, they're going to really have to work with Nintendo, and they're really going to have to learn. I
think that has to do with every IP, though. Nintendo's not going to just let someone willy-nilly do something. They're going to have a hand in it. So
correct. Now, what they did with Bayonetta and Astral Chain, probably Nintendo did check over some things, and then they went on their merry way, because that's not their properties.
So, while you were talking about all that, all I could think of is if they did like a Metroid game in the style of the 80s Transformers cartoon.
Okay, then I want that now. That I want.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Dang it, now I want that.
All right, we're going to wrap our news segment here. Instead of answering questions, this is something that I think we all kind of wanted to talk about last week, and we kind of ran out of time a little bit, so we kind of decided to make it a topic this week. But we're getting a sequel to Breath of the Wild 2, and they showed us a trailer that was about maybe a minute and a half long, and they showed us a lot in that minute and a half that I think we can speculate on. Zelda got the what were they calling it online, the playable character haircut.
Yeah.
She has a sword and a shield. A lot of people are speculating that
she's in the new Pokemon.
Wow, Jesse. I expected that from Corey, but wow, Jesse. Wow.
Well, he's not lying, so.
That you'll be able to. Jeez. You'll be able to swap between the characters or play co-op in dungeons and stuff, where you're going to need to use both characters to solve puzzles and everything, which I think is actually a really cool mechanic. Co-op seems very interesting. Nintendo has some people might not realize it, but Nintendo likes to play multiplayer in Zelda games. Maybe not to this grand of an adventure, but Four Swords, Triforce Heroes, so
Gooigi. Zelda will be your Gooigi.
Oh jeez.
Oh my goodness, I need a T-shirt of that now.
You think she could go through prison doors, like the prison bars, just like Gooigi does? The green hand that grabbed Link, or grabbed Zombie Ganon. Maybe that hand is going to have some sort of interesting thing, because Jesse, I think you're the one that posted it in our group chat, the concept art. of
Yeah.
of that from the Hyrule Historia art book, and there's a lot of things we could speculate about this game.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on what you think is going to happen in Breath of the Wild 2? Man, now I just can't get Luigi out of my head. I'm still catching up, guys, from these jokes.
I want to hear Ray and Jesse's thoughts, because I think I say everything on our reaction. And the only thing I have to add to, like, this is a Studio Ghibli feeling game, and I'm all here for it.
Yeah. And I kind of like what I talked about, with the whole speculation with the, that art where he has a prosthetic hand and stuff. Like as far as what I've gotten from that, like that's really the only thing that I really have to honestly to say. I mean, there's the darkness of it, like, yeah, like I don't know, like that. It's gonna be interesting. I'm just kind of curious, like if it's like this one's not gonna be as bright and colorful, maybe as the. Or it will be colorful, but in a different way, kind of like we had originally talked, Tori, where the more darker colors.
Yeah, like we were talking.
Going back to the Dark World. Like the Dark World is going to make a return.
Mm-hmm. I was saying, can I just say this one thing real quick? I think, Jesse, was it me and you were talking about this, or maybe me and Ed were talking about this, but like, there's a lot of like the green, like the green swirls and stuff, like it really is like honestly giving me a lot of Twilight Princess vibes a little bit, like the green that they're using, the going into the what seems to be the Dark World. It's like a mix between Twilight Princess and Majora's Mask, almost, like that kind of setup for me, at least. That's what that's what it really reminded me of.
Well, it feels like those. Before you go, Ray, it feels like the green, the swirls and stuff feels like language, in a sense.
It is, because it is language.
It's language, okay.
Yeah,
that's what I was getting the vibe for, and it looks like when it was just swirling slowly, and the goop
was
seal. Like around
it's basically a seal. It's a spoken seal that's materialized. Is what that is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sealing Ganon. Is what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead. No, you good?
No, because I was just thinking about if
Skype everybody.
If this deals with the Triforce, what if Link actually lost the Triforce of Courage and Zelda has to get it back?
Why would that happen?
The Courage, somehow one of the Triforce thing was able to break the seal for Ganon or whoever to get loose, and so they needed Link's arm to get it, or the little goop thing stole the Triforce. Like I said, Princess Mononoke last time. Like, what if I love the story of the fact that they had so much DLC ideas that Anuma and them just decided to make a whole new game. So now this is just crazy, because I just can't predict anything on what the story could be. And that little teaser, what they showed us as a trailer, could now lead us more into that, knowing that this is based off new DLC. And Anuma and the director from Breath of the Wild coming together, and they creating a world around that. I'm like, there's probably more stuff that is going to be bonkers. And I'm here for it, but I just think something about that Triforce is going to come into play. But go ahead, Ray. I'm sorry.
So with this one, we know that that's Ganon, and we know that he was sealed. But I don't know if you guys have watched anything that kind of dives deeper into the lore behind where this Ganon might, like, what timeline this is, because we're still timeline diving. We're still trying to figure out where we are in the timeline. The only Ganon that this one could be, technically, is the Twilight Princess Ganon. Mm-hmm. Because when he was left, he got his neck snapped, and, stabbed with a sword and then sealed away. That was it. Mm-hmm. At the end of this, that thing's neck unsnaps and the eyes light up. He's got the exact same jewel in the middle of his forehead. I don't know if you remember that jewel. Mm-hmm. It's the same one. I feel
was that
like
also in Wind Waker too?
I don't. It might have been. but I don't believe so because we know that this is after Hyrule was flooded. So, this is. I love that. I'm really hoping we're getting more Ganon lore because that's important. I really want them to focus because I have this theory that this Ganon was the one when they first summoned the courage. They first summoned the hero that Ganon was chosen and decided not to accept the call, and that's why he then got the other half of the Triforce instead because he decided to follow the evil path, and so they had to get rid of him. I'm assuming that this is going to have a lot of Dark World and time travel in this as well. Time travel is going to come back in this game, and the gimmick will be he's not going to lose his arm, but the gimmick is going to be surrounding about the energy that he gets into his arm from this encounter that he has with this seal. Because they have to break. That's the reason why they're going down there. They have to break it because for some reason, time stops passing. I think, and so they have to figure out how to fix it.
Is this is all before the original Legend of Zelda, right?
I think they said that this is. I think they said this is after everything.
Yeah, I think Breath of the Wild takes place after.
I think they said it takes place after everything.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's two Ganons, right? Ganondorf and Ganon. Ganondorf being the pig one from the first game. So
Ganon's like the energy, yes, and then Ganondorf is the guy.
Yeah. Ganondorf is the king of the thieves, and then Ganon is like the essence.
The essence of evil, essentially.
Yeah,
but they coexist and coexist.
Yeah. Okay, because I thought Ganondorf was the top, like he was the actual lead, and then Ganon was after him.
Yeah. And then like. That's why Skyward Sword, like that final boss in Skyward Sword, is like Ganon's beginning.
Because that's when Ganon chooses Ganondorf as his vessel.
Yeah,
and so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I there's a lot of potential for this game to go in some crazy direction. I don't think it's going to be, and I mean not to say that your theories are like crazy or wrong, but like the whole out there like they're going to get super wild with it. I don't think so because it's still Zelda and they don't want to get too crazy because even thinking about it, Majora's Mask wasn't that crazy. The craziest one technically was Twilight Princess.
but it's bonkers in the sense to know that that they all had ideas of where the story could go, and instead of just putting this as extra content, that they're coming together to form a new game, and there could be multiple theories and stuff. And it's probably gonna be another game that we all don't want to be surprised when the game out, but it's also gonna create discussion about what's happening just in Zelda in the world that you're experiencing. Because that's kind of how we had it with the Breath of the Wild. It was just like you did something, I did something.
Stuff. They have to fix it. They really kind of screwed themselves with Ocarina of Time when it comes to the actual timeline of this game.
Yeah,
they really screwed themselves.
I still think that that Breath of the Wild is going to be a trilogy of games.
I would hope so. I really hope so. I would love that.
Yeah, no, I still think that the second game is like the middle. It's going to be like, when you watch Star Wars and A New Hope kind of stands on its own as like as a movie, right? And they left it open for a sequel in case, but like it still stood on its own as a movie, right? And then Empire and Jedi kind of go together. I still think that Breath of the Wild is A New Hope, and then this one, and there's going to be like 2 more games, and this is the middle arc of this story.
I can see that, and so this is where it's going to get crazy.
Yeah,
and I can't wait.
And this is.
I really want the Dark World to come back. I really
want that. This is where we go explore this is where we explore the Dark World, right? And then I still think like at the end of this trilogy of games that I'm totally theorizing and making up right now, I think that Zelda is going to sacrifice herself to seal away Ganon, and that's when we see like the emergent of the sages and like the the realm where they seal Ganon off and everything. Like this is just all when I got all this from this 30 minute and 30-second trailer. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a trilogy of games. We're gonna see the formation of the sages. We're gonna see Zelda sacrifice herself to seal away Ganon, and then the third game, Link is gonna search for Zelda, and this is where we find Shadow Link because he's already been sucked into the Dark World, and maybe there'll be a little bunny rabbit that's its name is Link.
That's
also.
what I was gonna say. Is I want Shadow Link to come back.
Can I ask everybody?
No.
What would you title this sequel? Legend of Zelda. You cannot use Breath of the Wild 2. Legend of Zelda. ... Semicolon. I think it's semicolon. I think that's it. Jesse, what would you name this? The Legend of Zelda. What?
I don't know. The Upside Down.
I understood that reference.
No, I don't know. Like I would have. That's something I would have to try to think of.
Corey, what would you
time.
think?
I don't think
It's
I
gotta
can just.
it's gotta
come up with
revolve around
something.
like darkness and the dark world and I don't know. I don't know what I would name this sequel. Like it would have to do with like the dark world and descending into the dark world, like something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Descendant darkness or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Like
Right.
Legend of Zelda: The Darkness of Hyrule, something like that. I don't know.
Mine would be The Legend of Zelda: Dark of the Heart.
Interesting.
Man, let's see. Man, I don't know. All I know is that I want it, and I want it like tomorrow.
I would love to have that game come out next year. That'd be cool, but I doubt that's going to happen.
I'm still thinking they're lining this up for 2021 with Metroid
I
Prime
think so.
4.
I think so too.
think they're gonna make their. I think they're gonna bring their booth theme, like the dedicated to one game, and I think it's gonna be Breath of the Wild, too.
You think so?
I think we'll get a title reveal next year. I don't think.
I'd hope so.
Oh yeah.
I think 2021. I think just seeing they're gonna plan ahead for the next they're planning ahead for the next 18 months, but they have like a 5-year timeline right now, and like I think 2021 they're lining up to be like a huge year for them. I think it's gonna be Breath of the Wild to Metroid Prime 4, and then whatever the next generation of Pokemon is
Where is Bayonetta 3?
next year.
Stop forgetting.
If
Next
they,
year. No, it'll be next year. Bayonetta 3. I feel like Bayonetta 3 will be like early next year or
That'd be nice.
summer next year.
early
Like kind
next
of like
year,
where Astral Chains is kind of fitting right now.
March next year.
That's
Yeah,
where
yeah,
I kind of feel like Bayonetta is fitting.
I would say early
Yeah.
sometime next year, but we'll get for the last direct of this year, we'll get the trailer of it.
Are those the
And
only
we're going to
three
get
games?
a new Golden Sun in 2021 too. So
We are not
don't
getting.
know.
Are
Golden
these
Sun.
the only games that we know of outside of like the games after Animal Crossing? Are these the 3 games that we don't know kind of like when they're coming out?
Yep. But no, Ed, count on it. There's going to be a new Golden Sun. There will be.
There's not gonna no.
How much money you want to give me when this happens? I just want to know.
There's going to be a new Urban Champion
I will
too.
come down and give you. I will take you out to dinner. We'll find
Okay.
some place that sell biscuits and gravy.
There's going to be a
And I
new
will treat
there's going to be a new Excite bike. There's
Look,
going to be
yep.
Look, Ray.
Kid Icarus Psych Bike.
Ray. I already
Kid
own
Icarus
Corey.
Paperboy and a new Psych Bike.
All right.
man,
I
a new
already
Paperboy
own-
would be awesome.
Ray, I already own Corey chicken sandwiches. I think I own Jesse like Uno's Pizza or something.
But no, I have this strong feeling that they are working on a new Golden Sun game for the Switch.
No, because no one.
There's
bought
I
that.
feel-
actual.
I feel
Well,
like they are
nobody cared about that
too.
one.
I feel like they are too, and we're gonna get a reveal with a Smash Brothers character reveal.
Look,
Man.
just bring,
He's
just bring-
Isaac's already in Smash though. He's technically a trophy, so
just bring
he's
Remnant of
an
Ashes.
assist trophy.
There's other characters
Just-
in Golden Sun, right?
That's
Just
true.
bring- Just bring Remnant from the Ashes to Switch now.
Dude, they put Isabelle in Smash from
This
Animal
is true.
Crossing. They could have put
This is
Tom
true.
Nook. They could have put KK Slider,
You're right.
but they put Isabelle in. Okay,
That's. I think the next DLC character. I think that's going to be a female. It has to be.
It
doesn't
better
have
be.
to be.
It's gonna be Shantae.
It
Wait.
has to be Laura- it could be Shantae or it could be Laura Croft.
Nope, it's gonna be.
Can I just
it's
take a
gonna be
moment to
It's gonna be Shield Knight because Shovel Knight's an assist trophy.
You're right.
Can I just take a moment to say that the Banjo Kazooie reveal is probably one of the best things at E3.
Yeah.
They've only
Like the
gotten-
way they did that, it was
They've only
hilarious.
gotten better. I appreciate you, Nintendo.
Oh, we're gonna get a new Duck Hunt next year too. By the
Yeah.
way,
Oh,
speaking
no.
of the Banjo reveal,
Oh, I do not want a Duck Hunt game. Who gonna do
But
it?
it's gonna
Sega?
be it's gonna be live
gonna be
action. No, it's gonna be the sequel to 1-2 Switch. You're gonna see all the same people in that in 1-2 Switch, but they're gonna be on. They're gonna be in Duck Hunt.
No,
And it's
thank
gonna be
you.
a real dog too.
We have gotten away from Breath of the Wild.
You need me sports.
That'd be
No.
awesome.
I
Thank
can
you.
see Wii Sports coming to Switch. I can see that happening.
I would like like a Wii Sports HD for like $30.
Like I said, all they gotta do is just call it me sports.
Speaking of Smash reveals, where's my Snipper Clips level?
Oh God, it's dead. I hope it stays dead forever.
What? Snipperclips was the bomb.
Snipper
This
Clips
is
was
the bomb.
awesome.
We don't need a level though. No,
Yeah,
thank
we
you.
do.
Yes,
we
you
don't.
do.
I want those stupid things to cut levels out from underneath you while you're trying to fight someone.
Just think, a player fighting on Snipperclips.
I want you to see those.
lag.
I want
That
you.
would be so funny.
Snipper Clips Paper Mario.
I want to see one of those.
Oh, I
wanna
can
s-
see that happening, and I'm here for it.
I want to
so
see
much.
one of those. I want to see one of those stupid shapes shoot a basketball while I'm fighting someone. Smash.
Why? Why? But why?
I want to see them push a pencil into a button by cutting
I-
each other
God.
while I'm fighting someone in Smash.
I know we're getting Puzzle Quest. I don't think there's that Puzzle Quest is coming to Switch. Not Puzzle Quest. What was the one with the Mario and Luigi? Like it was the drill thing that kind of switched. It came for DS.
Are you talking about Puzzle and Dragons?
Paper Mario.
Puzzle and Dragons, yeah, that one is coming to Switch.
I
They
feel,
announced
I feel like
that.
Ed's having another podcast right now.
The level 5 game with the Yokai Watch 4 is supposed to be coming to Switch. I think that'll be next year. So, like, we kind of got some games for 2020
They're
for
also
Switch.
supposedly they're localizing an HD version of Professor Layton, the first game.
Oh, yes. Now, can someone give me follow up to Hotel Dust? Someone find that to happen.
I love Ray's face when Ed says something. So funny.
Hotel Dust was the bomb. I love that game, and the sequel came up in Europe, but never came out to America.
I wonder why.
It was supposed to come here and sing close. I don't know what happened. I think something happened with the localization, but Hotel Dust did sell well.
I
So,
believe you. I believe you, Ed. I do.
Ray, can I just have this moment to have these games, please?
Ed, you can have this.
I have been muted, disputed, and others.
Refuted.
Right.
Oh, all right. Well, with that, I think we're going to close the show out. I want to thank everybody for watching. Remember, you can listen to the NX show on podcast services on Tuesdays at 7 a.m. Eastern Time on your podcast service of choice, or on Spotify, iHeartRadio, our YouTube channel, or you can watch us live on Saturdays on twitch.tv/TheNX or on codenamenx.com/live. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and all those other good places. Who do we want to start with? You know what, Ray? We're going to start with you. Where can we find you? Remind everybody where they can find you and give you money.
Well, hey, it's me. I'm Ray Apollo. You can find me everywhere on the internet as Ray Apollo, RayAPOLLO. That's no space. I stream on Twitch every day except Sunday from 9 to whenever I feel like, 9 a.m. specifically, to whenever I'm like, okay, I'm done. We play a variety of games. We play action games. We play shooting games. We play puzzle games. I mean, not so much puzzle games because I don't like to look like an idiot on the internet, but still, we have a good time. So come find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ray Apollo. We have a good time.
You
I
know,
appreciate
Ray,
you.
as someone who has done over 800 episodes of podcasts in my life, I already look like an idiot on the internet. So
I mean, nah, you good.
No.
No, you good. Have you ever seen me play Tetris? You don't want to do that. Mm-mm.
Oh, we should dual stream some Tetris tonight, Ray.
We're playing Destiny.
Ray's trying to stay out of it. No.
That's enough puzzles. That's enough puzzles for
Yep, that's enough for me.
Not if
Hey,
we're
Ray.
rating.
Ray, is that a not today stated?
Yes, not today, sir. Not today.
Jesse, where can we find?
You can find me on Twitter, Xbox Live, SoundCloud at Phantom NXS. So And I believe maybe on Instagram too. I don't remember. I think I changed my Instagram to Phantom NXS as well. I'm trying to get everything to that now. So make it easier.
The one place you want it the most, you will not be able to find it. Like Corey in HD belongs to a YouTuber who hasn't posted on Twitter since 2015.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
So Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at @RichardCode. You can check out my series, my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, and other podcast apps. The season finale will be this Friday, where I will be talking all about the PlayStation 2. So you guys do check out that episode, and also check out my E3 coverage. Not only on the NX show and the NX project, but also Optional Opinions. And everybody, please go visit Jesse's SoundCloud and listen to his album. It is mind-blowing good. It's such a great, I won't say experimental album, but it's such a banger. So yeah, do check out Phantom Maggot, dang it. DJ Phantom. Is it Phantom Maggot still?
No,
Well, it's I just have it as DJ Phantom NXS, but it is technically still like that album is the Phantom Maggot or whatever, but
Yes. And also you guys can find me on YouTube at The Lyrical One. I've been posting some video game clips there that you guys could check out. Still trying to promote Codename NX. So yeah, and I am working on my retro show, so I'm getting games in those episodes ready to go, so you guys will be able to check them out on codenamenx.com.
Nice.
Oh, and one last thing. I'm sorry, Corey. The Beauty of Video Games Volume 5 is going to be in production starting next month, and you guys will be able to find out what it's going to be about in September when I release it. So yes.
nice.
You can find me at CoreyNHD713 on Twitter, CoreyNHD on Instagram and Twitch. You can also find me on other content here on the NX Project and on Nerds Gone Rogue, which is my other podcast. You can also find me streaming starting this week evenings at CoreyNHD on Twitch. And yeah, you can find all of our content on codenamenx.com. You can also find past episodes of podcasts there as well. And I think that's going to be it because outros have been really long. So thank you everybody so much for watching. And until next time, we love you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
A brawl is surely brewing. And begin! Here's a real high